Welcome. So let me ask you this. Have you ever looked at your marketing budget and wondered if you're just making noise or if you're actually creating real, tangible value? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to make sure it's the latter. We're going to do it using the G-STIC strategic framework from Northwestern University's Professor Alexander Cherniff to build communication campaigns that actually work. I just love this quote from the advertising legend Leo Burnett. It just cuts through all the jargon. Here's what we've got. Here's what it will do for you. Here's how to get it. It sounds so simple, right? But, and this is a big but, in today's world with all the noise out there, actually doing that effectively takes more than just a clever tagline. It takes a system. And that really brings us to the core idea. Strategic communication, it's not just another line item on your expense report. Think of it as a primary engine for creating value. Its whole job is to inform your market, to make the value of what you offer crystal clear. And when you do that right, you're building the very foundation for your success. Now, when we say market, we're talking about a few different groups. Of course, there are your target customers, but there are also your collaborators, think suppliers, distributors, partners, and don't forget your own people, your employees and stakeholders. Now, all of these are important, but for today, we're really going to zero in on customer-focused communication, mostly because that's usually the most complex and honestly, the most expensive piece of the puzzle. So this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you get past just, throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks? How do you build a coherent plan that actually gets results again and again? Well, the answer is all about making a shift, moving away from scattered random activities and towards a structured strategic process. Okay, let's get into it. This is the G-STIC framework. G, S, T, I, C. It stands for goal, strategy, tactics, implementation, and control. You can think of it as the complete blueprint, or maybe the operating system for any communication campaign you run. It makes sure that every single thing you do is tied directly to a clear objective. Let's break it down. First things first, everything, and I mean everything, starts here. Before you even think about writing ad copy or buying media, you have to define what winning looks like. A clear goal is the foundation for the entire campaign. Without one, you're not just lost, you're basically just setting a pile of money on fire. So, your goal needs a specific focus. What exactly are you trying to do? Are you trying to create awareness? Just letting people know you exist? Are you trying to build preference, convincing people that you're a better choice than the other guys? Or are you trying to incite action, getting someone to actually click, buy, or visit? You've got to be honest about which one it is, because that choice is going to shape everything that comes next. And let's be really clear here. A vague goal is a useless goal. A real goal needs two things to give it teeth. First, something quantitative, the what and how much. For example, increase awareness by 50%. And second, something temporal, the when. Achieve this in the next 6 months. If you don't have both a number and a date, you're not planning, you're just wishing. All right, so you've got your goal locked in. Now what? Now comes the strategy. This isn't about the nitty-gritty details yet. This is your master plan, the high-level thinking that's going to guide all of your decisions down the road. And honestly, strategy can sound complicated, but it really just boils down to two fundamental questions. Number one, who exactly are we talking to? And number two, what exactly are we going to tell them? If you can get these two pillars right, you are well on your way to success. Okay, now this is a really important distinction the framework makes. It actually splits the idea of audience in two. First, you have your strategic audience. That's who you need to influence. Think about a toy, right? The strategic audience is the kid who's begging for it, but it's also the parent who actually has the credit card. Then you have the tactical audience, which is how you're going to reach them. That's about using data, like their location or online habits, to find the most efficient way to get your message in front of that parent. So once you know who you're talking to, you have to decide what to say. And you've got a lot of options here. Are you going to focus on the product's features, the identity of your brand, the price, maybe a special promotion, or even just the fact that you're available nearby? You've got to choose your angle. To make this a little more real, let's use a brand we all know, Cadillac. I mean, they've got a rich history, a complex product. They could talk about 100 different things. So what should their message be? Well, they could focus entirely on product performance. They could talk about the engineering, the horsepower, the comfort of the ride, the cutting-edge design, just focus on the car itself.
Or they could take a completely different approach and focus on brand heritage. Talk about their long history, their status as a luxury icon. This isn't about the car, it's about the prestige, what it means to own a Cadillac.
Or maybe the most effective message has nothing to do with any of that. Maybe it's purely tactical, a really compelling financing offer like 0% APR, designed to get people into the dealership this weekend. And this is the absolute core of strategy. You can't say everything at once. If you try to, your message just becomes noise. A strong strategy is about making a deliberate, sometimes difficult choice. It's about prioritizing the single most compelling benefit that is most likely to influence your target audience and help you hit your goal right now. Okay, so once your goal is set and your strategy is defined, well, the rest of the framework kind of falls into place. The next steps, tactics, implementation, and control, are all about execution. This is where the rubber really meets the road. So your tactics are the specifics. This is the creative, the actual ads, the social media posts, the specific channels you're going to use. Implementation is the logistics of it all, the budget, the timeline, who's responsible for what. And finally, control. This part is so important. This is how you measure success. It's where you look back at those goals from the very beginning and see if you actually hit them. This is what makes you smarter for the next campaign. So what's the big takeaway here? Using a framework like G-STIC transforms your communication. It stops being a cost center and starts being a strategic investment. It ensures that everything you do is designed from the ground up to deliver a real, measurable return. So the next time you plan a campaign, ask yourself this one question. Are you just spending money, or are you strategically creating value? This framework gives you the blueprint to make sure it's always the latter.